Welcome to the I-80 Club before the witching hour on this Sunday morning. Josh Peterson and Matt McMaster with you as always, as Matt gets his Cincinnati Bengals hat ready to go. He's ready for the Cincinnati Bengals and whoever they're playing today. I can't even remember who it is. Hi, Matt.
I just need a hat, and that was the one that was on my floor. So I'm not a bang. This is a sick hat, though. I got it. You ever do the 47 random mystery boxes?
I've never done that. I've heard about it though, but I've never done it before.
You should. They're awesome. They're so worth it. This one came out of it, and it's a Super Bowl hat too.
Oh, that's exciting.
It's got the logo. It's got the Super Bowl patch on it.
That's very cool.
It's a sick hat. It sucks that it's the Bengals because it's just like, who really gives a shit about the Bengals?
Got him.
I'm just saying. If it weren't for Joe Burrow, I mean, they were and still would be one of the most irrelevant franchises in all of sports. But they're not because Joe Burrow's there. And Joe Burrow might be back today.
That's true. We might be getting a little Joey B today. How are you on this Sunday, Matt?
I'm hungover. Tired.
Yeah.
I'm dehydrated.
Yeah.
I'm mad. I'm just not happy.
Not in a good mood?
No, not really. Huskers suck. They just kind of – that sucked. And now, it's put me on edge for the Bears game because I don't want to be embarrassed again.
Sure.
And the Bears could get embarrassed today if they lose to Rodgers again.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
This is not a good morning for me. How are you?
I'm fine. I've already started writing a little bit, so I got a few paragraphs written there, and I slept in compared to normal for me. Though it's not really sleeping; it was just laying in bed as I tried to close my eyes and imagine the sun wasn't there blinding me. But yeah, good. Hungry. I haven't eaten enough this morning, so I'm ready to talk ball, and maybe that will fill up my stomach with all sorts of takes, and maybe that will
bring you food. No, you're not going to.
We're potting. I'm not. See. Some of us don't like to eat while we do podcasts or radio shows because it comes across as a little unprofessional.
I don't eat during the radio show.
Yes. What about the podcasting component?
Yeah.
We've done that before. But I'm good. I'm ready to go. It was awesome. I texted you last night. Are we doing a pod? And you said, yep. And then you gave me the list of games. And wouldn't you know it, I already have copious amount of notes on each and every game that you have decided for us to talk about.
I feel like that was sarcastic.
No, I swear to God. These are great games. Or you don't think that these are good games? You're not interested in these games? I feel like the five that we picked this week, because our teams are finally involved in interesting ones, it was kind of easy.
This slate, looking at the full slate, because I never memorize a slate. I've already looked at the slate probably 3 times, but I always got to relook. Okay. It's okay. Yeah. I like it. I fuck with it. Indianapolis, Kansas City. My game is cool. Yeah. Your game is interesting.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football. Can we talk about Sunday Night?
Sunday Night? It's a good time. Sunday Night Football is a really good time.
Haven't we just been having a banger of Sunday Night Football games this year? It's been a great Sunday Night Football year.
We've been getting pretty lucky with some of these games. Yeah. And so and then there's one more that you didn't even mention in there. What was the other one that I guess Vikings Packers is probably the poo-poo game of the group that we're going to talk about. Still interesting enough.
It's interesting enough for me. We could have done credit to us. We could have done the clickbaity Cleveland versus Vegas game.
Oh my gosh. No, we're not doing that garbage.
I know it is garbage. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
But because we are professionals.
Yeah, we're not. We're not trying to get the algo working our way with Shedeur Sanders takes. We could have absolutely done that. By the way,
what's the take? He's not very good, and the juice is
blows.
Squeeze.
There we go. I mean, that really is the discussion. But you're right. Other intrepid podcasters who are searching for super chats and more would have made a thumbnail of Shedeur and the title would involve Shedeur.
Hey, searching for super chats would be a good podcast, man.
Yeah. Well, we got some super chats last night. If you missed it,
dude,
thanks
you
everybody.
Got a 50 burger.
We got a 50 bomb. That was pretty sweet. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for the IED Club watch party of Nebraska's ass whooping at the hands of Penn State. We very much appreciate it. Matt showed up. He has given us new memes of him, one of them frozen and then the other one the cat. I have changed the photo in my phone of you, the frozen 1,000-yard stare version of you. So that is one of them. And then the cat that you lifted up, that was hysterical stuff.
The most underrated part of my appearance was, and I actually think it was better than the cat.
Yeah.
Was Jack not knowing I was doing a John Gruden. Like Jack.
Jack, you were like a minute in. He's like, wow, that's a pretty good John Gruden. You sound like John Gruden.
Yeah, he was like, you sound like John Gruden. Like, that was him not knowing it was an impression and thinking for whatever reason, I just started sounding like John Gruden. It's pretty great.
Yeah,
pretty great.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Highly recommend. Again, if you haven't had a chance, I don't want to tell you to watch the whole 3 hours, but if you want to scrub around, I put some chapter markers in, Matt. I figured out how to do chapters.
I saw that.
YouTube. Yeah, so feel free to scrub around and check out anything that we have going on.
Did a Manning cast. I saw the chapters of Connor Happer and John Bishop. I was like,
look at that. I do what I can. A little housekeeping real quick before we get going. We will not be doing one of these on Sunday next week. Matt will be in Chicago for Thanksgiving, so no Before the Witching Hour on Sunday. But when you wake up on Thanksgiving morning, maybe you have a bit of a drive, a bit of a flight ahead of you, you will have in your feed on the I-80 Football Show, not just Matt, but Mike Schaefer as well. We're going to do a little crossover of Before the Witching Hour and National Fun League. And so that will be available on Thanksgiving morning. We'll talk some ball. We'll get ready we can preview the Thanksgiving games, including Cowboys, Chiefs, Lions, Packers, and what other games interest us in week 13 of the NFL season. So that'll be coming your way on Thanksgiving morning. Again, no Before the Witching Hour. I don't believe we'll be doing a National Fun League this week as well. It's a wonky week with work, with schedules, Creighton basketball, playing afternoon games and stuff like that. So, again, we'll have a football show out on Thursday. Matt will be on that. Mike Schaefer will be on that. Hope that you like and subscribe and download, and maybe you play it. Maybe Uncle Bob starts talking about politics, and you're like, whoa, Uncle Bob. Have you heard Matt McMaster, Mike Schaefer, and Josh Peterson? Let's check out what they had to say about
them talking politics.
Yes. Maybe he has. I don't know, but he's at the very least is going to hear us talking about football. So all of that to come later this week. All right, Matt, let's get to the ball. I say that we do the Vikings-Packers game that we just mentioned and get it out of the way because I think the rest of the slate is even better. Shall we start with Green Bay and Minnesota? The consternation that surrounds the Minnesota Vikings right now, it is very tough. I know many Viking fans in my life. My youngest brother, diehard Viking fan. One of my uncles, my mom's brother, diehard Viking fan, has been that way for 50 some odd years. Mike Schaefer, diehard Vikings fan. All of them seem very frustrated by J.J. McCarthy and his existence as a Vikings quarterback. They don't like it at all. Matt, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have. This has come across my feed. Makes me happy. Can't lie about it. If I'm being honest with you. You know what? Here's my thing. I got a hot take for you, Josh. I think the Vikings should extend him. Get ahead of it. Quarterbacks are getting really expensive nowadays, right? Sure. I mean, it's like we see that it's the salary year in and year out. It just gets higher and higher, right?
Get him cheap.
I think it'd be a great business idea to buy low and lock him in 6-year extension. Really get him in that value right now, and get him to say yes. And that way, when he gets better, that way you're not paying him as much as the Packers are paying Jordan Love to be incredibly average. So don't be like the Packers. Be like the Vikings. Extend J.J. McCarthy. I think it'd be a great idea.
Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen you so happy talking about the pain of others in the National Football League as you are in this exact moment in time. Look, you're just reveling in it. The Bears are 7-3. The Packers are mid as hell, and everyone's frustrated by it. The Vikings are an outright tire fire, and Justin Jefferson is how many bad passes is he away, Matt, from absolutely losing his shit during the game today? He is so close.
Here was the best part.
So close.
JJ kept dapping up Justin on the sideline. Like he kept going up to him and dapping him up. Like it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. And at some point, like Justin kind of didn't do a full eye roll, but he kind of like looked weird on the last dap. And I go, there's gonna be a moment where JJ tries to dap him up, and like Justin might slap him. Like he might just be like, dude, get away from me. Like it was awesome. It was. I mean, imagine having quarterback problems in 2025. Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. And also, too, you forgot to put in, it's not like the Detroit Lions, like it's smooth sailing over there. Dan Campbell is calling plays. Good luck with that. Good luck. Good luck with that.
A couple things for you from this game. You know, I always like trying to bring some stats, some interesting things to the table when we do these pods. So Kevin O'Connell, he was hired ahead of the 2022 season. Minnesota has won 38 games since the 22 season. In those victories, 33 times they were ahead or even in the turnover battle. So they were even or at the very least +1. This season, they have committed the second most turnovers, 18, and are tied for the 6th fewest takeaways, 9, and 5 of those came, by the way, in one football game. So if you're wondering, hey, why have the Vikings taken a step back? I mean, certainly I think you could start with J.J. McCarthy, but the second thing that I would mention is, wow, that guy likes turning the ball over. Yeah. And this is a franchise that has been built on not turning the ball over the last few years, and thus they sit with the record that they have as we reach, more than the halfway point of this season.
So Vikings defense still good. They're 12th in the NFL in EPA per play. Brian Flores still is an awesome defensive coordinator, and lucky for them, I think he's just canceled at this point after what happened in Miami. So they're lucky, a little bit like Kansas City's lucky to have, just a head coach who's their coordinator, right? Like that's what they have. So, I think Green Bay, the play calling has been it's been questionable. It's been very conservative. It has not been the kind of creative, scheming guys open stuff that we've seen from Matt LaFleur in the past. Tucker Kraft being out is such a big hit. And I think we used to give credit to the Packers for having a lot of number twos. Wow, they have like 5 number 2 wide receivers, right? But I think that with how Jordan Love has been playing, they need a number 1. They need a Devontae Adams. They need a Jordy Nelson. They need somebody who's just going to, no matter what, they're just going to get open and Love is going to be able to find them. And so I think they're struggling with that. Now, Minnesota's given up a lot of explosive plays this season. And so I think what they'll probably do today is I think Flores will probably have some sort of shell and try and limit the Green Bay taking the top off the defense, and they're probably gonna dare Matt LaFleur to run the ball with Emmanuel Wilson, and they're gonna say, all right, like you don't have Josh Jacobs today, like go ahead, like pound this football, like try and be conservative, try and dink and dunk with Jordan Love, and I think LaFleur is gonna do it, and so I don't think this is gonna be a very high scoring game. I don't know what the over under is. I would imagine it's probably like 44, and I might bet it. I might bet the under today. Like, eat your vegetables, bet your unders. I just think that, I don't
41 and a half.
Yeah. Like, that's a little.
Wow, you'll still do it at that low. That's a low
that's a little
number.
Low. That's a low number. But I just, man, like JJ, I actually did like JJ, getting serious here.
Yeah.
I actually did like JJ out of college. I was like, look, he's got a good arm. He's on time. He's been accurate. And you're gonna hate this, but like I feel like sometimes we punish quarterbacks in dialogue because they just do whatever they need to do to win, and sometimes that's taking sacrifices and not necessarily throwing the football all over the field. And I thought that he was kind of a victim to that.
You're talking about in college in Michigan?
And like they were like, oh, you didn't, the team ran the football. I'm like, well, yeah, because they had Blake Corum and they had a
great offensive
line, and like they didn't have the best weapons. Like, and when they needed him to play really well, he did play really well. Hell, that dude. Every time you saw a JJ McCarthy prospect profile, you saw that throw against Nebraska, in Memorial Stadium when he was rolling left and put it on the dime to Roman Wilson.
Made some big time throws against Alabama as well in the semifinal.
So I thought he was the 5th quarterback in that draft, but I was optimistic about him. I thought that, especially too, Kevin O'Connell is an awesome offensive coach. You have a whole year to sit down and kind of see the game from the sideline. I thought it would be a very big benefit for him. And he's got Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson and Aaron Jones and like a really good setup. And he's just not good, Josh. He's just there's no other way to describe it other than 90% of the time that he's played as the Vikings quarterback, he's just not played good football. It's been inaccurate and sloppy and slow and
dude, and you hit on it. The inaccuracy with his throwing is like
it's bad.
It's like that's the stuff that is leading to the frustration from Justin Jefferson. And as you talked about, he's going to snap on him at one of these points when he gets snapped up. And here's the thing, though. They very much have a chance today because, as we've talked about all season long, the Packers play down to their competition. This now is a trend since, I'd say, week 3, because they got off to great starts against the Lions and the Commanders. But since then, week 3, they started playing down to their competition. And how about this? They are 1-5 ATS against teams with losing records this season.
Wow, great stat, Josh.
It backs it up in the data that when they are playing bad teams, they don't run away and hide in some of these games. And that's the difference, man, between the good teams and the teams that will make the playoffs and the true blue contenders outside of like the Chiefs, the last couple of years where they won every game by 2 points, it seemed. But for the most part, the really good teams are eventually going to be able to show it, or at least do it a couple of times. And they're certainly going to do it against the bad teams. They don't do it against the bad teams. They play them close. And that's why there's obviously a lot of frustration with Green Bay right now.
And Tucker Kraft being out.
And that is brutal for him.
That is so brutal. But the thing is that they drafted Luke Musgraves, and he's been on the team for like 5 years now, and he hasn't gotten any better since his rookie year. So it's like and then they drafted this Matthew Golden cat. He has not been good. He's not been good. So I don't know. They're in this is a very weird Packers year in the regard that, like, typically I feel like the Packers always play a little bit above what we expect, and this year they're kind of playing below it. Like, it's just I feel like the Packers are just always there and they're always around. And this was the first time since maybe a Rodgers season we had Super Bowl expectations for the Packers, like legitimate. Hey, they're going to make the Super Bowl this year, and they've not. It's been a very steady ever since that Browns game. There's been a very steady decline of just how we view it. Like, they're still good. We always have to go, I still think the Packers are good, right?
Sure.
But but every week it's like
they're going to make the playoffs.
Lowers and lowers and lower. Yeah, they're still 6-3, which is kind of funny to think about.
They got punked though by the Eagles, and then they didn't play very well against the Giants last week, and thus here they are. So that is Vikings and Packers. Let's get to your game next, Matt, because a little breaking news dropping just a few minutes ago. This is not surprising, but Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero reporting Aaron Rodgers, he will not be playing. He was pushing to play against the Bears. In the end, it was too quick. Rodgers should play next week, but the turnaround was just too quick. Thus, Mason Rudolph will get the start against your Chicago Bears. Hey, it's like last night where you just disappear from the camera for minutes at a time. Matt, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I wanted to play it.
Yeah? You wanted them to go up against injured Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. Yes. And I wanted them to hit him.
Yeah.
Okay? I wanted them to hit him. And I wanted them to get after him. And I wanted to beat him. I wanted to beat him.
That could have been fun to end his career, right? To really just put the nail in the Aaron Rodgers coffin.
I wanted one more shot at him. I wanted one more shot at him for old time's sake. It really was. It would have been nostalgic and fun. And I don't know. I don't want to sound like a masochist, but I wouldn't have mind feeling the pain one more time of playing Aaron for old time's sake.
I don't ever want to play that man again. I hate his guts.
We've played each other 30 times, and it's like, it's kind of one of those old buddy.
Has he won like 20 of them?
25 of them.
Jiminy Christmas. That's depressing.
I wanted, when he started his career in Green Bay, that the Bears had the all-time record against the Packers. And then when he left Green Bay, the Packers had the all-time record against The Bears. So, yeah, I wanted to play him. And I also didn't want the whole, well, they'll only beat the Steelers with Mason Rudolph and they beat a bad Vikings team. And, I didn't want to continue this whole path of, who have the Bears beat, And,
sure,
if they go ahead and they're not going to play him, so they are going to play Rudolph. I don't think it affects the game all that much.
Yeah. No, I don't either. I understand it. You just want for the vibes. You wanted to do it, now you're holding a pillow because you're so stressed.
A little bit. I don't think the spread changes at all. I think that
I think this has been the expectation all week long. I wasn't expecting him to play. The bigger surprise would have been this morning if they would have said, yeah, he's going to play. He injected really his wrist with ivermectin,
He really good. That's a good poll. The financier. Man. So this game, let's just talk about the game real quick. The Bears are beat up. Their 3 linebackers are out: Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, and Noah Sewell. Sewell's been very mid this year. TJ Edwards has been the best defensive player, in my opinion, on the Bears for the last 2 seasons. He's been out for a while, though. And then Tremaine Edmonds, he was the big acquisition to kind of replace Roquan Smith after that trade. And he is he's built he's an awesome athlete. He is big and he's long and he's fast. And you're like, holy crap, this guy's playing linebacker. It's insane to watch. But he didn't really live up to standards until this season. He's by far playing his best football of his career. This year, he went on IR yesterday. It's a massive hit for him. And then also, too, Kyler Gordon's out, and so is Tyreek Stevenson. And so this Bears defense has gotten a lot of flack for their performances, but they haven't been healthy. I don't think they've played a full game this year, Josh, where they've had every projected starter out in the field on defense. It's always been something. Even when the secondary was fully healthy, then that game, that was, they got hurt again. And so Jalen Johnson is back, which is big. He's their all-pro corner. But even when you get Johnson back, your Pro Bowl type corner, Tyreek Stevenson, he's out. So, I think the Bears have been very fortunate to play some bad teams during this stretch when their defense has been bad. And then on top of that, their offense has been good. Their offense has been good, and they've been clutch when they needed to be. So
they absolutely have. And now they're going against the defense. The Vikings blitzed the hell out of Caleb Williams last week. Did you see it was on 2/3 of the dropbacks, 66.7% of the dropbacks. And now they're going against the Steelers team that blitzes at the 4th highest rate in the NFL. So that's one thing. The other, I saw this stat. Chicago runs play action 31% of the time. The Steelers are one of the best defenses against play action. Their success rate is 6th best in the country in terms of against play action passes. So a little good on good on that side of the ball. This does seem like one of those classic 17-16 type late November football games.
Yeah.
I'll say this about your Bears, man. I now have gotten to the point where I'm kind of believing in them to pull it out at the end. There's a little and this is going to trigger you and Mike Schaefer at the same time. Little 2022 Vikings about them that I'm just they keep pulling games out of their keister and we're going to doubt them all year. And then they're going to lose to the Cowboys in the playoffs or something like that.
How dare you? How dare you?
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if our teams played in the playoffs and then the Cowboys won? That'd be pretty sweet.
Because first off, to me, that's an insult. Okay. Because
what's an insult? That you're going to the playoffs for the first time in a while?
No, because I used to crap all over the 2022 Vikings.
Of course, everybody did. It was such a fun team to make fun of.
But then Mike Schaefer's going to get mad because Mike Schaefer's totally right. I didn't know bad football teams won 13 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing.
So you're going to become what you hate. Spot the lie, though, Matt. Spot the lie. Spot the lie with this team. Am I right? What is it? Knock if you're with me, man.
Knock on wood if you're with me. Yeah,
Yeah, I got you. All right, good luck to the Bears today. 17-16 win over the Steelers.
I don't think a team should be punished for making clutch plays like
nobody's. Who's punishing? I'm not punishing.
You just insulted them. You
took it as an insult. You took it. You took it as an insult.
You told them. You said they're fool's gold.
I guess I did say fool's gold.
Yeah, there's nothing foolish about it, right? When the chips are down and they need plays to be made, they go out and they make plays.
They make them.
Do you know what that's called? It's called
football. The 2022 Vikings.
Okay? I would much rather be in your eyes, a shitty team with a good record than a good team with a bad record. Okay. It's almost like sometimes people rather be the 3-9 2021 Nebraska Cornhuskers than the 2025 Chicago Bears. Sometimes it seems like people would rather be the greatest 3-win football team ever than the worst 8-win football team. Do you know what I want the Bears to be? The worst 8 fucking win football team of all time. Do you know why? Because that means they have 8 wins in 11 games.
Hey, for the record, I'm with you. I've watched good Dallas teams miss the playoffs with 8-8 or 9-7 records, and then bad ones that sneak their way in. I'd much rather be in the dance. By the way, real quick, one more thing before we move off of your game. Man, this is your guys' stretch to finish the season. Holy God, Matt.
Tough.
Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Browns, Packers, 49ers, Lions. Like, you got the Browns in there. The one, they're not a gimme game, of course, but the one easy opponent plays incredible defense. So you piled up a lot of wins, man. I think you got to pile up one more here because
we need this one.
You need this one bad.
We need this one. This is a big one. And people have been like, the Bears schedule, and like people very respectfully have talked to me about the Bears because they know it's been a tough, like grind to get to this point as a Bears fan. And they've been like, yeah, their schedule's a little easy. And I'm like, you are totally right. Like, Josh, you're right. Okay. You're like the things that they have done. The things that they have done really aren't that sustainable, but it's the fact that they've done them. It just shows incredible progress for this team and where they've come from. But they've played easy teams, but they've actually taken advantage of it. Like they haven't done that.
They're piling up the wins.
So
that's the thing you got to do. Pile up one more win.
They need today. I think they'll get one against the Packers, and then they got to get
So then you got to find one more.
When then they get Cleveland. So you gotta. I think they're 10-7.
That 49ers game could be an elimination game, man, or maybe you both make the playoffs. Who knows?
Well, I'm hyping up this Eagles game. Like the Eagles game is like our 2019 Rams game. Like that'll be the who are you really a contender type game. But I know they're probably gonna end up losing.
Bear down, baby. I'll be rooting on the Bears. How about that? It's going to be a wild Black Friday for you. Nebraska's going to lose on a game-winning field goal to Iowa, and then you'll turn on the Bears-Eagles game.
This game will be very quick. This is going to be a very quick Bears-Steelers game. Both teams are going to run the shit out of the football. The Steelers against 2 tight end sets, I think, are giving up over 5 yards a carry, and the Bears against jumbo sets are giving up 5 yards a carry. And then on the jumbo sets that Steelers run, I think they have I saw a stat 7 yards a carry when they run jumbo packages with an extra offensive lineman. So Jaylen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell, I think it's Gainwell today actually, pound the rock. You're going to get ready to learn Kyle Monunga, you son of a bitch.
So that's Bears Steelers. Let's get to the other noon game, our final noon game that we will preview, and that is Colts at Chiefs. Colts, first time this year, Matt, that they have. Oh, wait, I did want to read this comment from Matt because it made me laugh in the Discord. He says, the worst Super Bowl champions of all time has a nice ring to it. Exactly. Rank them 60th on all of the Super Bowl champs. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a flying F. All right?
Yep. Give me that ring.
It's got a nice ring to it. You know what I'm saying?
Give me that ring. I don't care at all.
Loser.
Colts, Chiefs. Colts, first time all year, they're going to have their full and now revamped secondary healthy and intact for this game against Kansas City. This is, dude, the Chiefs are, of course, running out of losses. Like, they cannot keep losing. They are at 5-5, and you look at the upcoming games that they have, they got to start finding some wins, Isn't it nuts that just a few weeks ago they were 5-3, and we were like, yeah, the Chiefs are back. They lost didn't they lose to Buffalo? Then they had the off week, and then they lost to the Colts, and now, or they lost to the Broncos, and now they're going up against this Colts team. This is such an interesting one. They have a short week, of course, upcoming, just like your team does, just like my team does, because they're all playing on Thanksgiving. Dude, you lose this game, and I think that you would have to run the table probably to make it to the playoffs. Which is insane to say.
11 wins? 11? You got to get to 11, you think, in the AFC? I guess New England's got 9. the Colts have 9. Denver's got 9 already.
Well, here's the problem, though. At this moment in time, they have losses to the Bills, who are in the wild card chase, the Chargers, who are in the wild card chase, and the Jaguars, who are in the wild card chase.
Shit.
So that's the problem, is they're just getting boxed out at this moment in time by some of the teams that they've already lost to. So you got to win a game here. Like, the Colts are going to make the playoffs, in my opinion, as the division champion. I don't think the Jags or the Texans are going to be able to catch them. But so if that's the case, then you're going to have to deal with those teams. Now, they still have to play the Chargers again, so they can certainly pick up a victory in that and even that series up. They also do have the Texans coming up in a couple of weeks, so an opportunity there, and they have the Broncos, but I don't think that they're going to win the division. So this is a big one. And on the other side, man, I remember early in the year when the Colts, were off to that great start.
Yeah.
And you start looking at their schedule like, wow, they're just taking advantage of all the garbage teams. And this was a game that I kept looking at like, wow, this could be really interesting. And now the shine is certainly off the Colts a little bit, right? Daniel Jones has played his worst football in the last couple of games. He has, where is it at? 4 interceptions in the last 2 games. He only threw 3 combined in the first 8. So the shine is off. They also have not played very much lately. They had the Steelers game. They go overseas against the Falcons. They win in overtime. Then they were off. So I feel like I haven't watched them.
Spot. Yeah.
And they got the dub, right? We don't apologize for wins in the NFL. And so that was the most important thing for them in that game.
So, first off, Jonathan Taylor might fuck around and win a MVP.
I think so too. Because who else are you going to give it to, right?
Like DJ hasn't. I think we were on the cute little DJ, Sam Darnold train for a bit, but both those guys. I mean, Sam Darnold's got like the 4th most interceptions in the league. Like,
and are we really going to give it to Drake May? Like, is that really, as a society in 2025, that is what we're going to do?
If Drake May was an Arizona Cardinal, no. But Drake May being a Patriot and being on the East Coast, you might East Coast bias exists. That might
give it
be
to
a
Vrabel.
thing.
Vrabel should get the most valuable player.
That's good to Josh McDaniels. He's had a really good year as a coordinator.
That guy, dude. What's that theory about like rising too high within a company? Like, he is at the spot he needs to be. Never perfect. Make him anything better than that. Like, never again. He is so good at this level.
Also, there's just nothing wrong with being a really good coordinator. There are just some guys who are just you're good at being a coordinator. Be a coordinator. Same thing with Bieniemy. Like everyone's like, oh, Bieniemy, head coach. I'm like, I think Eric should just be a coordinator. Just be a coordinator. That's what Spags
you mentioned him earlier, Steve Spagnuolo. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he's done a really good job at that level.
And I think Josh McDaniels he's a bad coach, but he's a great coordinator. He's a really good coordinator. But back to Taylor, right? Like this everything else the Colts have done this entire year has just been really, really good. They have a good defense. They have a pass rush that finally seems to find their stride. They have an awesome offensive line. They have a stud running back. They have, a tight end that is probably going to be one of the best in the league for the next decade. Their weapons, while they're not over the top great, are very, very solid. And as long as Drake May or Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over like he has the last couple of games, they're a legitimate contender. With the Chiefs, it's been funny, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like through the first couple of losses, there have been a lot of excuses, like, it's the beginning of the season, they'll find their stride. Oh, they don't have Rashee Rice, they'll be fine. They don't have Xavier Worthy, they're going to be okay. Patrick is better in the second half of the season anyway. Come on, they're going to figure it out. And when they were 5-3, I think it chalked like the Chargers lost to, it was their first game of the year. It was sloppy. It doesn't count. Oh, the Jacksonville game, that happens. Pat isn't going to throw a lot of red zone interceptions. Yeah. Anyway, and so, and then you were kind of, it's whatever. But then they lose to the Bills, and you're like, okay, Buffalo's got their number in the regular season.
I was going to say, they always lose to Buffalo in the regular season. No big deal.
But then last week was the first time.
Is that the one where you're like, okay, maybe it's actually time to panic?
Oh shit, they might be not a good football team. They did not. Because you can watch a Chiefs game, and we've all watched so many fucking Chiefs games that we're like fans of the Chiefs at this point in terms of like we know
every NFL fan knows the most about their favorite team and then the Chiefs number 2.
Seriously, because they've just watched so many games, and it's just like you understand what this team's trying to do, what their concepts are, how Travis Kelce runs routes, who Chenault is, and Karlaftis is, and who their safety of the year, who's playing awesome is, right? You know all these guys. And so watching the Chiefs, you're like, that doesn't look like the product I know them to be. Like, this is the first time in a couple of years I've watched this team play, and I've said, ooh, not good football. Like, the inability to get the ball out on the perimeter, the inability to stretch it down the field, just the basic mistakes that you've seen from other not so good teams for the first time in forever. It seems like you saw them against the Broncos. And maybe that's the Broncos being the Broncos. Maybe we should give them more credit. But if we're just talking about the Chiefs, that was the first time where you're like, shit, this actually might not be a year for them. They just might be a regular old mid-ass average team.
I could not agree with you more, and I think that people are just afraid of saying it because they don't want to be wrong, and that this is the team, you can't cut off their head. They're going to find a way to get it done in the end anyway. Yeah, wow. See, and D'Lo says 2 close losses on the road versus playoff teams. Chiefs will be fine and will win by 2 scores today. See, here's where I disagree, though. I think you and I are in the same boat about the Broncos. They are an incredible defense. Incredible. But I've also watched them play with their food in multiple games this year. They played with their food against the Raiders on Thursday night. They played with their food. I mean, they should have got beat by the Giants, And then, so like, that is a team that in the past, the old version of the Chiefs would have come in and said, we are still the champs, we are still the team, and we are going to take care of business. And they didn't. And that's because they are a lesser version of themselves in 2025.
So here's my thing, though. Like I want to look at the spread here because I want to make sure this number's right. The spread on the game is Chiefs -3.5. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just from a 2025 football perspective conversation, right? Just from a 2025 football conversation perspective. Why are they favored?
Because they're the Chiefs.
Okay, but that's...
Yeah, but you're talking about actual football? Yeah.
But actual, like...
I mean, I'd probably say it's a road game for an indoor team in late November. Daniel Jones has taken a bit of a step back over the last couple of games.
Do you know who's taking a step back? Do you know who's taking a step back this season? Let's just be real. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is 15th in QBR. Patrick Mahomes does not have a...
Dude, how about those deep balls that he was missing last week against the Broncos?
Patrick Mahomes has the... Let me look here because I got my stats. He's got 8 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, okay? And he's got a completion percentage of 64.5%, okay? Those aren't terrible for a regular-ass quarterback, but for him, those are not great numbers. Those are not Patrick Mahomes numbers. Those aren't the play. So, look, I'm not trying to be a Chiefs hater or anything like that. I think I've actually been a Chiefs guy in terms of believing in them more than most people. But all I'm pointing out is they, for the first time, actually looked like, hey, this might not be like this great of a team. Like this, they might not be that great. Okay, like they might not figure it out. And the whole thing about like 2 years ago, we had the same conversations about the Chiefs. Like, I mean, that's not totally incorrect, but through 11 weeks, they had 3 losses. Okay, through 11 weeks now, or through 10 weeks now, they have 5.
Yeah, the team 2 years ago, they kind of fell apart at the end of the year in terms of the wins and the losses, and they also still won the division. This is different because they're like, I'm gonna pull up their schedule real fast, but the problem with them this year, Matt, is they're just losing to all of the good teams. So let's see, they've lost to this year playoff teams: Eagles, Chargers, Jaguars, Bills, Broncos. Their wins are against the Giants, bad. The Ravens, let's see. The Lions, that's their best win, certainly. And then the Raiders and the Commanders. They're not beating the good teams, and they're losing. And they're losing to the good teams, and they're beating the bad teams.
It's one of those things where if you were to tell me right now, if you were to bet, do the Chiefs make the playoffs or do the Chiefs not make the playoffs? I would bet that the Chiefs make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll figure it out.
I would still bet that they wouldn't win a playoff game. Okay? Seriously. I'd probably bet that they win a playoff game. But I don't think they're going to make the AFC Championship game. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl. Maybe they're on a skewed scale because of all the
we're judging them against themselves.
Themselves have been a dynasty.
Yeah.
Themselves
so
have been a dynasty. So it's good Chiefs combo.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that game. That should be a whole lot of fun. Let's get to my game. Eagles at Cowboys. The 325 special. Matt, the Dallas Cowboys played a lot better defense on Monday night. They have Quinnen Williams now. They have some guys back from injury, including Overshone, who Agent Zero. Nice to see. Wow, I'm watching a highlight, and he just made the play there. Nice to see. The offense, of course, has not really been the problem this year, though it was in the 2 games that preceded the game against the Raiders. How about this stat for you to kick things off? Dak Prescott has not lost at home versus a divisional team since November 19th, 2017, when the Super Bowl champion Eagles came in and absolutely spanked them. No Zeke Elliott in that game. They won 37-9. He has won 19 straight against divisional foes.
Wow.
And it's a weird stat, right? Because the Cowboys have not won 19 straight against divisional foes at home because Dak hasn't started all of those games. He has had, for all of his issues, and most of them have shown up in January for Dak Prescott. He has done an incredible job against the division. Like, I don't remember the last time he lost to the Giants. I think it's his rookie year in terms of starting games versus, so he has owned a lot of teams to a large degree. I don't know. I want you to tell me how to feel about this game, because as much as I love the Cowboys offense and I have this year, and as excited as I was to see what they were able to do on defense on Monday night, this is a huge step up in competition. And the Eagles, talk about finding ways to win. Man, they can just drag you down into the absolute muck. And they have done that in the last 2 games against the Lions and against the Packers. My favorite Cowboys writer, Bob Sturm, who does a radio show down there, he basically was like, they cannot approach this game like those 2 teams did in terms of being conservative. They need to be aggressive. And I agree with them. Even if that's going to result maybe in some turnovers, this Eagles team does not turn the ball over and they have takeaways. Like, I don't want them to just, try to play it safe in this game. Go downfield, try to stretch them. You got those receivers. Jake Ferguson's probably going to have a big day as well. I just don't want to see a bunch of running up the middle and trying to play like a 17-15 type game. That's not how they're going to win if they're going to pull off an upset today in Dallas.
How's the O-line? Like, give me an honest.
I'm worried. I'm worried because they have, and especially the tackles, have struggled. Like you saw against the Raiders early on, Max Crosby got to Dak, forced a fumble, and immediately I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a long day. Now, after that, they did I really liked how they called plays. They got Dak moving a little bit. He did a really good job moving the pocket around himself. But I am very concerned because now with Phillips on that defensive line for Philadelphia,
he's been playing great.
Dude, it's a horror show with what they're able to do on that side of the ball. Horror show.
Are they healthy? Is the O-line healthy? Because I know you were hurt. Are they healthy?
Yes.
Okay. I would not be shocked at all if the Cowboys win. I wouldn't be. Because if you protect Dak, I think you can expose the secondary and for the Eagles, who they've had a second corner problem all year, and it seems like they have traded and signed like 6 different dudes, and they can't figure that out. And one of the most underrated players of this season, in my opinion, has been George Pickens. George Pickens has been absolutely incredible.
I love this man.
And then you got CeeDee Lamb. And what did I tell you? I go, you're an 8-8 football team. It's the most painstaking
8-8-1.
No, well, but I first off, I'm always going to say teams are 12-4, 13-3. Like, I'm never going to subscribe.
People forget it's a 17-game season now.
Screw that. You're an 8-8 football team. This is your game where you beat a really, really good team that you didn't think you would beat, and then you have hope. And then next week you'll play whoever you'll play
Chiefs.
Detroit, or you'll play the Chiefs, and you'll look terrible in that game.
Oh,
but this is probably the game where you get unnecessary hope and you look really, really good. And I think that the Eagles, they are really good at front running. They are an awesome front running.
When the game script goes well, they're having a great time.
They're having a great time. And like you called it, a slog. They can just slog out a game and kind of sit on a lead. And now they failed to do that against Denver. But and also too, the comeback against the LA Rams, I can't get that out of my head. Like that was a really, really good game. So they have the ability to be explosive, and like the Eagles are a really, really good football team. But I mean, I could see, Dallas making this a track race and them getting out to a big lead and making, Jalen Hurts throw the football down the field and maybe taking advantage of some mistakes. And, I think that the guys that you got with Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams, the run defense will be there. So, I would probably say the Eagles will win this game because the Eagles are just straight up a better football team and they're more talented. And I think you could say that for a lot of the games the Eagles play. But I think that the Cowboys do a good job of taking advantages of some of the weaknesses that the Eagles have. And, like you mentioned, Dallas at home over the last couple of years, I mean, minus last year, but the years before that have been really, really good at home.
They won 16 straight at home before the Packers massacre in the playoffs.
Yeah. And then what the games at home to begin last season as well, like the
terrible
New Orleans game was absolutely awful.
Yikes. Yeah, that was awful. Yeah, the good on good in this game is Cowboys offense versus Eagles defense. The bad on bad is the Eagles offense versus the Cowboys defense. And so the thing that I just keep wondering about with Dallas's defense, and we're going to get an answer today, and then we'll get an answer on Thanksgiving, and then we'll get an answer the following Thursday against the Lions. Can they be my hope has never been, can they be a top 5 defense? My hope has been, could they be a top 18 defense? Maybe we get a bit more of an answer in that regard today against Philadelphia. I mean, God, I've watched too many quarterbacks have their best day of the season against Dallas this year. I would love for that not to happen with Jalen Hurts today because it would make it all the more frustrating because, man, I watch that guy every week and he has been just so incredibly average. A.J. Brown is pissed because A.J. Brown knows. He knows that they can't win a Super Bowl playing at this level. He knows it. That's why I think he's more annoyed than anything is he knows that they have the issues on offense.
I think the whole A.J. Brown thing is a little overblown.
What do you mean?
I think he's just a good football player trying to get his team to win fucking football games. I really do. I think I don't think it's coming from a place of malice or a place of, I'm mad and I'm upset. I think
Matt, he's judging them like we just did the Chiefs. We're comparing the Chiefs to other versions of the Chiefs. He has compared the Eagles offense to other versions of the Eagles offense that has been good.
And the guy has won a Super Bowl. The guy's played in a Super Bowl. He knows. He knows what and I think obviously, with his history and the rumors of him and Jalen Hurts and their relationship and everything like that, plays into it. And the Philly media licking their lips. They love shit like this. But I actually just think he's a grown man who wants to win football games. And this is in his mind. In his mind, this is the way to do it. Is it the best way to do it? Probably not. But in his mind, this is how you get your boys going. And so I give him it's funny enough. I think some people are like, oh, he's a diva and he's a problem. I think I might swing the other way. I think I like him a little more that he's trying to, because that's how I see it. I think he's like, fuck guys, I want to win football games. Let's play better. And also too, he's not wrong. The Eagles' offense is better when he has the football in his hands. That is a thing. When A.J. Brown has the football in his hands and he's getting the ball, they move the ball down the field in the vertical passing game so well. So, I think the Eagles are still really good. They're going to kick our ass next week. But I think this game will be tight. This game will be close.
Oh, can't wait to be stressed. So that's the 325 game. We finished with the Sunday Nighter, Bucs-Rams. Man, dude, we were so high, and Schaefer and I were so high on Tampa. They're still banged up. The story of this game is going to be, which players are still inactive and which ones aren't for Tampa Bay. Meanwhile, the Rams, they didn't even play that well in the win over Seattle, but they got the win, and that's all that matters. Seattle somehow had the ball after all those interceptions with a chance to kick a game-winning field goal last Sunday and that 2-point victory. What most interests you about this football game tonight?
So we've seen the evolution of NFL offenses over the last, say, 10 years. And I think at the epicenter of it has been Sean McVay. And he was super creative at first in the passing game. And, the shotgun spread out, wide receivers kind of pinning it around the yard. When the passing game evolved, he was a part of it. Last couple of years, though, he's been at the epicenter of the run game evolving and getting creative in the run game and just finding different ways to pound the rock. And, we've seen guys like LaFleur and Ben Johnson kind of use the run game to elevate the pass game through play action and all that type of stuff. And I think that McVay's done a really good job of that as well. Now, McVay's new thing is tight ends. That is his next. That kind of has been his next evolve in terms
evolution.
Has been 12 personnel, 13 personnel, which they run a ton of, and kind of the allure of if you have athletic tight ends who are able to pass the football, but also bigger guys, you're going to be able to make the defense second guess: are they going to run it here? Are they going to pass it here? Because that's really what NFL offenses have now boiled down to is. They just want to make sure that defenses have no clue what type of concept they're going to run when they line up to the line of scrimmage. So against 13 personnel, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kind of just run base defense. And, their linebacking core, God bless them, I love them, Levante David, is a little old and probably a weaker part of their team. And so I think that they're going to line up 13 personnel, and they're either going to pound the rock with Corum and Williams, or they're going to get some pretty advantageous situations in the pass game against some slower, older linebackers on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I think that unless Tampa Bay makes some really big adjustments in terms of how they just play against multiple tight end sets, I think it's going to be a pretty easy game for the Rams.
A couple things for you. Matt Stafford, 20 touchdowns passing this year facing the blitz.
He's awesome.
Yeah, and then on Sunday, so today rather, I wrote this on Friday. On Sunday, he'll be facing a Bucs team that blitz as at the highest rate of any team since Todd Bowles got hired, and they're blitzing at a 33% rate this season. So it's going to be interesting to see that chess match, given that he does really well against the blitz. How much does Tampa want to do that in this matchup tonight?
And on top of that too, we have to mention, I think the best red zone play in the league right now is the Matt Stafford fade ball to Davante Adams. It is so effective. And
the other thing though that stands out to me with Adams, he has a drop every game, one that you're like, that's weird. Every time, over the middle, wide open on the sidelines, and it's just like, wow, okay, he's it's just a little late stage Davante Adams, but yeah,
he also though has a touchdown every game. It's like every game he's got you're like, oh, he's in.
He's like Los Angeles George Pickens.
He's got 10 touchdowns in 10 games. He leads the league.
Not bad.
Okay, and by the way, he has 43 receptions. A quarter of his receptions have been touchdowns. 25% of his catches have been for a touchdown.
You know what they used to say about Chris Carter, Matt?
What do they used to say about Chris Carter?
All he does is catch touchdowns. And now maybe they're saying that about Davante.
Pretty great skill to have. It is so beautiful. As a Davante Adams fantasy football owner, it is so beautiful.
You're
when they get in the 7-yard line and you everybody in the building knows where they're going. Right. Mm-hmm. And because Davante Adams isn't 6'6" and this big, massive Megatron looking dude, they still line him up one-on-one with no help out there. And they let him throw it. And Matthew Stafford is so good at football. He's a guy who might win. If they don't give the MVP to Jonathan Taylor, I think they'd probably end up giving it to Matthew Stafford.
I would say it's probably down to those two guys.
Right and
let's see what happens at the end of the season.
He's going to get the sympathy vote of he's a Hall of Famer and
he needs this for his resume.
MVP. He's done enough.
Isn't it wild how we spent all that time in August talking about his back, and then knock on wood now it hasn't shown up
shit yet all over him and his back, and I was like, he's an old decrepit man, and he's
you got there, Stafford.
I think I also said you remember when he had the elbow injury and everybody's freaking out about the elbow injury, and they're like, oh, it's not a big deal, and then he had a terrible year. The whole team had a terrible year. I thought it'd be that again. It's been the opposite. They're probably are they the Super Bowl favorite?
That's a good question. Are you okay?
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess. I'm actually gonna guess that it's still the Chiefs. Let's see.
No way.
I'm gonna guess. It is the Rams. The Rams 5-1. The Eagles 5-1. Chiefs are 10-1, tied with the Colts and the Lions.
What are the Seahawks?
Seattle is 13-1.
Wow,
13-1. By the way, you can still bet on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. That's mean that a sportsbook would even offer that to you still. That is a mean thing.
What are the Bears?
The Bears are, where are they? 45-1.
They're plus 8,000 here on.
They're plus 4,500 on the one I'm looking at. Interesting. So there you go. That's the NFL. Week 12, before the witching hour. All right, a reminder. We will not be doing a pod next Sunday because Matt will be. Are you driving? Are you driving to Chicago? Or are you flying?
No, I'm flying. I hate it.
Nice. So you'll be flying home at some point that day back to Omaha. Yeah, well, it's okay, Matt.
I hate flying.
You hate flying. You're like John Madden.
Flying.
You need a Madden
I can't
cruiser.
stand it. I can't stand it.
Well, it'll be a safe flight.
I picked the wrong profession to hate to be in planes.
Especially early on in your profession. You know, like when you get a millionaire like John Madden, you can just have people drive you in a bus. But you haven't reached that point yet. You'll get there eventually.
I'll get there eventually.
But until then, you'll take some flights. So we will not be doing a pod on Sunday. But we'll be back on Thanksgiving morning. Matt, Mike Schaefer, and yours truly. We will get you ready for the games that day and other conversation. Who knows where the conversations will go with Mike Schaefer? So he'll join us for a I-80 football show crossover that you never knew you needed. So we'll do that. That'll be available on Thursday morning. Should be a whole lot of fun. Also coming up over the next few days in the I-80 Club, Matt, we have a volleyball state tonight. Big Ten breakdown with Ben Stevens tomorrow. There will not be an I-80 live this week because of the holiday. So no pod with Jack and me, but there will be a Black Friday edition of the Saturday Morning Coffee Show. So it'll be a Friday edition of a Saturday show. How fun will that be, Matt?
Fun
indeed. And then who knows what else will be along the way this week. We would love to have you like and subscribe on the way out the door here. And certainly you can find us wherever you get podcasts. Or if you want stuff ad-free, patreon.com/I80 Club. That is how you get access to all of the offerings that we have, including that episode tonight behind the paywall for Volleyball State. Matt. Enjoy the ball today, man. Good luck to your Bears, moving to 8-3 potentially. Wow. Who could have seen this coming? The class of the NFC North, the Chicago Bears. What year is it? 1985?
Can both the Vikings and Packers lose? Is that on the table?
We call those ties. Maybe the Packers will tie for the second time.
I thought you were going to say they call those meteor games.
Well, the big meteor. I'm not going to predict it because if I did and then it happened, I think I might get arrested. So I will not call for a meteor. I will not call for that. Matt, enjoy the football, and then I will talk to you for a Thanksgiving spectacular.
See you, broski.
All right, that's before the witching hour. We will talk to you later this week. Thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye.